All right. Good evening. Sunday night. You're here with Everything Sports with TB and JB. Got a lot to cover, especially if you're a big time golf aficionado.
Yeah, right. Like
It
us.
was a great tournament. So we're going to take the first segment. We're going to pretty much talk all golf. So the tournament was just a fantastic tournament.
A lot of fun.
To get started off with the tournament, let's go over. The field was exceptional, especially coming down the stretch on the last day. The conditions were actually pretty benign for the most part. It was a little tougher today, but for that tournament, the conditions are really windy. Even today, they had 20-mile-an-hour winds, gusts up to 30. But for the most part, that's normal, if not a little tame for there. But the other 3 days were pretty light, and the course was baked.
Yeah, it was. It was baked ever since day one.
Yeah, so it looked really ugly on TV. But all that brown, all that fairway, it was actually grass, so it wasn't any different than them hitting on a lush piece of green grass. It just was brown.
Yeah.
Because it's so fine to the ground, and it's just been a super hot time over there, so it fries really fast. So even a few months ago it was really lush and green, so it'll get back to that. But outside of that, the conditions were great, and I just thought the leaderboards were awesome all throughout the weekend. A lot of guys had huge chances.
Yeah.
Our top three picks. Who was yours?
I had Rose, I had Koepka, and Fleetwood. Fleetwood was my third one.
So actually, all three of those guys finished pretty decent. Koepka was a little bit further down, but he was only one over. So
that's pretty surprising to me.
And I had Ricky, which we'll talk about that later. I had Rosie, and I had Koepka. And then I do remember thinking I said the sneaky pick would have been Molinari.
Yeah, good
I have
call.
to check the tape, but
that was a good call.
He just hangs around, and we'll talk more about him and his win. But guy's just steady Eddie, man. So
he's on fire, red hot fire.
Yeah.
He's
all right, so
cruise control.
So overall, the tournament was fantastic. We'll talk about different parts of it and everything here, but Molinari won. It was very exciting coming down the stretch. Actually, him and Alexander Schauffele were tied as Molinari was coming to the tee on 18. Schauffele was on 17 putting to save par. He bogeyed. Molinari went on to birdie 18, so it put Schauffele 2 shots back. But if you didn't get to see it, the tournament was tight. At one point, there was a 6-way tie for the lead with 2 or 3 guys right behind that with 1 shot.
Double-digit guys within 2 shots.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun today. A lot of fun.
Big guns, big names on the leaderboard.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger Woods standing on the 11th tee with a 1-shot lead. He actually had a 1-shot lead.
Tell you what, I think a lot of people thought we saw the Tiger old in that time span right there. But then those next on 11, 12, and 13, it just kind of went away.
Yeah, he was standing. Yeah, so he was standing on the tee box at 11, and actually took the 1-shot lead. Spieth and Schauffele had stumbled later in the front 9. I think they started on 6 when they started coming apart a little bit. They both dropped 3 shots right there. Molinari hadn't birdied anything yet. He was still parring every single hole.
Doing what he needed to do.
Yeah, and then Kisner came back to the pack as well. So he had dropped 3 shots. He had dropped 4 shots at one point. He was at 5 under, but he wasn't playing. He was playing in a different group. So, so Tiger standing there. He picked up 2 early birdies on the front 9. Was standing on the tee box at 11, and I remember thinking to myself, "Holy crap! I mean, he could actually pull this off because he was playing perfect golf, tee to green." Just picking up a birdie here and there, playing smart golf, and then kind of came undone.
Faded away there. But he kind of came back to earth because remember he was the only guy under par the whole entire day.
Yeah,
at that point.
He was.
And then he kind of just fell back to the pack, and that let all these doors open for a bunch of these players, including Molinari.
He'll pretty much look at number 11 as pretty much what kind of unraveled. I mean,
point.
that's going to be the one he's probably going to look back and stew on a little bit.
Yeah.
You're standing on the tee box at 7. He later said that he thought 8 or 9 would have to get it done. But he was on the tee box at 11, and he took out an iron, playing the way he's been playing all week, conservatively, not taking the driver out or even a 3-wood, and he pushed his tee shot into the rough and the thick stuff, and then he yanked it across the fairway in thicker stuff, and he put it behind the green, or actually no, he hit the gallery.
Oh, yeah.
Actually got saved. He went off, bounced off a guy's shoulder and off some guy's cell phone. Actually gave him a tricky lie, but a decent lie, and he should have took his medicine and chipped it up to the center of the green and just maybe 2-putted for bogey. But he got a little cute, tried to hit that little flop shot, didn't work. Then he hit the next shot up on the green, missed the putt, so he's got a double. So all of a sudden he's 7 under with a 1-shot lead, and he just came back to the pack. So he dropped back to 5.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of that, and then he bogeyed the next hole. So it just kind of came apart on him a little bit there. 14, he gets his birdie back, but so did Molinari, and then you can kind of see
14 was the birdie hole that you really needed a birdie on that hole, because that was really your only chance. Like only good chance.
Yeah, 15. Yeah, you're right. 15 through 18, we're going to be brutal. Anybody gets a birdie there, you're one of 6 groups that comes through to get a birdie. That's how hard it is. So he picked up a birdie there. He had a pretty good chance at a birdie on 18, but it wouldn't have mattered anyways. That would have given him maybe a shot. He'd been part of that group that tied for second.
Yeah.
But he couldn't do that. And then, but I will tell you, 14 was pretty exciting because Rosie hit the stick and got an eagle. He was just plugging along. He had a birdie, I think, on the front 9 and wasn't doing a whole lot. No. And then all of a sudden he had what was he? He might have been, no, he was 3 under at that point.
Yeah, he was 3 under, yeah.
And then boom, he comes into the picture. That's the only thing he'd done all day. He wasn't even really on TV much.
Yeah.
Gets that kick in eagle, so then he's at 5, and then
birdied.
For the 4th day in a row, he birdies 18. So he's the clubhouse leader at 6. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden you're like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
Spieth was still at 5 at this point, and you're thinking he's still got to play 14, so he'll probably birdie, so he'll get to 6. Shoffley was at 6.
Yeah.
Molinari still at that point was at 6. Molinari was at 6.
Kistner was like back and forth.
Kistner was 5 and 6. Mm-hmm. So it was just and Rory then comes into 18 and he makes that, or I'm sorry, on the 14 he makes that bomb for eagle. So he's fist pumping and the crowd's going nuts, and then he's at 6. So you're like, this is insane.
Yeah.
And Finau was still within striking distance. He was 4 and 5 and 4, and you're thinking, well, first one into post at 6. Tom Lehman said the first one into 6 will win. It almost happened.
Yeah, he's close.
But Rosie was the first one at 6, and then Rory came in at 6, and then the tournament unfolded from there. The rest of the guys on the way in. I want to say that Molinari, man, the guy is just, he couldn't be more opposite than any of the fist pump and the Patrick Reeds, the Rory McIlroys, the Tiger Woods, Jordan Spieth. You never hear a peep out of him ever. Yeah. People probably don't even know what he sounded like.
He's calm and collected always.
Yep. 10, 12 years he's been on tour, just plugging along, playing good golf, mostly overseas, the European tour. He's played a bunch of PGA events though, and he's been in a lot of majors. He's been part of the Ryder Cup team over there. But the last month he's just unconscious.
Yeah.
And today, he gets overshadowed because of the big names, and even he's playing with Tiger today, so he knows all the pressure, or all the pub and all the fireworks were going to be leaning towards Tiger, and he can just keep plugging along, making pars all day.
Yeah.
Until 14 gets a birdie, 18 he's just raked that drive down the middle, went about 385, 390, and he's not a big guy, but that baked hard fairway, and he was in the fairway almost all day. ripped it down there, had a little wedge into the green,
Yeah.
and then popped
right.
in a birdie even to close it out, so he
Mhm.
wins by 2. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts? I just thought it was this is the 3rd major in a row, and it's been just awesome. If you're
Yeah,
a
it's been
big
a
time
good-
golf fan,
Not only the majors this year, I think even the regular PGA Tour events this year, it's been a great season overall, I think. But going back to Molinari and about the Tiger effect, I like to call it. I think he went going into the day. I think he went, okay, if Tiger goes on one of his Tiger runs where he just blows away the field, I think he knows, okay, don't try and keep up with him, because that's when things go wrong. He just said, all right, I'm just gonna play my own game. Play par golf, which was the smart thing to do, and it worked out for him.
yeah, it sure did. I mean, it was just and look, he was the first hand noticing what was going on, where everybody else is wondering or hearing the cheers. They see the board, but Molinari is right there with him, sees what he's doing, and just had to match him pretty much drive for drive, approach shot for approach shot, and just keep plugging along. And one of these holes, the ball's going to roll in. And he made some great par saves too. He was making anything inside of 10 feet.
His iron shots were on point whole weekend, man. That's his strength right there.
Yeah,
is his iron.
Yeah. Tee to green, he's really good. So I would grade it. It was an A. It was an absolute A.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe from a TV effect, it would have been nice to see some green fairways a little bit, but can kind of get over that. What real golf is, and it's links golf.
Mm-hmm.
The players, nobody was bashing the course. It was a little hard, a little baked. So, you hit a good tee shot, you might have got some extra little funky roll that you got in a bad lie or something like that.
Or something like that.
Yeah, and the pot bunkers were, again, for the guys that weren't in the pot bunkers, it helped them, because the pot bunkers were just killing guys today. It's like guys, they had a chip out. I think Spieth twice had a chip out sideways. Kisner tried to get out one of his bunker shots up by the green. It hit the wall, came back, so it took him a second shot to get out.
I think the best bunker shot I saw all week was Tiger's. What hole was it? I can't remember, but it was like from 150 yards out from the fairway, put it within 15 feet.
Yeah,
20 feet.
He used the wedge. I think he used the wedge there to get. He had to clear the lip, but they actually were surprised he was going to go for it, and he hit just the front of the fringe, I think, and it rolled up to, I don't know, maybe 12, 15 feet. Yeah. So, but overall, really happy with the tournament. All 3 majors have been great.
We still got one more.
Golf is in such a good place with all the young guns, and just a lot of, you could pick. It used to be pick 2-3 guys. Now you can pick 12 to 15.
Yeah.
Guys that you can feel very comfortable about winning. So, we'll talk a little bit more about that on the flip side, and then we'll get into some baseball stuff. The second half is starting. Some weekend baseball, some good stuff going on there. We'll talk a little bit about NASCAR, what's going on there as we're getting close to the Pocono race and the playoffs. Very little NBA news. We'll jump into our what the hells and some shout outs, and we'll get ready for the week. So we'll be back in a few minutes.